So there's something interesting I learned from the movie Jungle Book, the animated movie from Disney. And it's when Mowgli's going about and he's told that he's got to go back to the human village, and he chooses to go elsewhere, and he comes upon Baloo, and who tries to encourage his growth and to live in the wild until Baloo discovers that he needs to go home, and then Baloo even tries to tell him you need to go back to the man village. What I find the most interesting about that movie in regards to fatherhood is the various characters were always there supporting, encouraging, loving, even when Mowgli fell down, did the wrong decisions, or even completely turned his back on the forethought of these more or less men characters that were being supportive of him, more or less fathers to him. And I find it interesting because in life there's many times where we don't quite see the path that our father's trying to teach us. And not all of it has always been perfect, and sometimes they're fraught with some different directions, but a loving father is there to guide us, to strengthen us, to support us. And so I think about some of the stories my father taught me. And one that always stands out, which I find is the most interesting one to stand out to me. He goes, Dad, a true gentleman takes the moment. And I was like, well, it seemed a little odd. And I was like, okay, what do you mean by that? And what it was as we were walking into a grocery store, a gentleman happened to take his hat off. And my dad was referencing that moment, that a true gentleman would take that moment to just remove his hat before entering the store. And I've never have forgotten that. I find myself entering the store, if I have a baseball hat on, I'll take it off, even with the messy hair. And I find that interesting because we find ourselves in circumstances that have been taught some good wisdom from men in our lives. So those moments become a part of who we really are. So, as Father's Day is this weekend, if your father is still here, thank him. If your father has already gone, honor one of those lessons that he taught by living it. Because every generation either passes on the wisdom or passes on the absence. So let's make sure that our children have something worthy to carry. You're not alone. God loves you. I love you. Until we ride again, thank you.